everyone! Welcome back to CapTech. I'm Janie. Today we're counting down the top 10 best people of all time, but this isn't just any list. We're ranking them by how much of the world's population they saved or impacted using real percentages. These individuals have saved lives, improved health, and transformed the way we live. Ready to meet the heroes? Let's get started. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Bill Gates. While you know him as the co-founder of Microsoft, his greatest contributions have come through his philanthropy. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gates has funded global health programs, vaccination initiatives, and sanitation improvements. It's estimated that his work has saved millions of lives by preventing diseases like polio and malaria. At the time of his efforts, around 0.1% of the world's population, approximately 6 to 8 million people, have been impacted. And he's still going. At number 9, we have Norman E. Shumway, the pioneer of heart transplant surgery. In 1968, Shumway performed the first successful heart transplant in the United States, a breakthrough that has since saved millions of lives globally. Though heart transplants are rare compared to other medical procedures, their life-saving impact cannot be understated. His work is estimated to have saved roughly millions of lives, impacting around 0.1% of the population. That's a huge legacy for one doctor. Coming in at number 8 is Karl Landsteiner, the man who discovered blood groups in the early 1900s. Before his discovery, blood transfusions were basically a death sentence. Thanks to Landsteiner's work, we've been able to perform safe blood transfusions, which are now a critical part of surgeries and trauma care. Millions of people owe their lives to this discovery, impacting around 0.1% of the global population over the last century. Number 7 is Henry Dunant, the founder of the Red Cross and the man behind the Geneva Conventions. His vision was simple: provide humanitarian aid to people in conflict and disaster zones. The Red Cross continues to operate globally, delivering life-saving aid and assistance. Dunant's impact has been massive, helping millions of people during wartime and natural disasters, saving around 0.1% of the global population through humanitarian work over the decades. At number 6, we have Maurice Hilleman, the man responsible for creating over 40 vaccines, more than anyone else in history. Hilleman's vaccines, such as those for measles, mumps, and hepatitis, have saved millions, if not billions, of lives. Today, about 0.1% of the global population is estimated to have been saved by his vaccines. Every time you get a routine vaccine, thank this man. Number 5 is none other than Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. Her innovations in hygiene and patient care during the Crimean War revolutionized healthcare forever. Not only did she save countless lives in the 1800s, but her work continues to shape modern medical practices, impacting millions of lives even today. She's credited with saving around 0.1% of the world's population over time. Talk about a legacy. At number 4 is Jonas Salk, the man behind the polio vaccine. In the 1950s, polio was one of the most feared diseases, crippling children across the world. Salk's vaccine changed everything. Today, polio has been nearly eradicated in many regions, with millions of lives saved as a result. His work is estimated to have saved about 0.1% of the global population. But more importantly, he gave the world hope and health. Coming in at number 3 is Edward Jenner, who developed the first vaccine, smallpox, back in 1796. Before this breakthrough, smallpox was killing hundreds of millions of people globally. Jenner's vaccine ultimately led to the eradication of smallpox, making it the first human disease to be completely wiped out. Jenner's work saved hundreds of millions of lives and impacted 20% of the global population at the time. That's right, 1 in 5 people were saved thanks to his smallpox vaccine. At number 2, we have Fritz Haber, the unsung hero of modern agriculture. His development of the Haber-Bosch process in the early 1900s enabled the mass production of synthetic fertilizers. This innovation transformed global food production and helped feed billions of people. By increasing crop yields, Haber's work is estimated to have saved 25% of the world's population. That's right, 1 in 4 people alive today owe their food security to this process. And finally, at number 1, we have Norman Borlaug, the man behind the Green Revolution. His groundbreaking agricultural techniques in the mid-20th century led to improved crop yields, especially in developing countries that were on the brink of famine. His work is credited with saving over 1 billion lives and impacting about 15% of the global population at the time. Borlaug's innovations in wheat production forever changed the world's ability to feed itself. Without him, the world's population today would look very different. That's why Norman Borlaug is our greatest hero. There you have it, our countdown of the top 10 best people of all time. These individuals saved or impacted millions, even billions of lives, making the world a better, healthier, and safer place. Who do you think should have made this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our song about the best people in the world. And don't forget to check out our fiction novels.
Norman Borlaug hit through the grain, fed a billion, eased the pain. Green revolution saved the day. Now the world can eat and save. They saved the world. Oh, can't you see? The best of us in history. They brought us hope. They set us free. These five great souls are legacy. Fruits of earth, crops that grow from the ground. Food does grow. Your nitrogen safe walking for. These five green mouths not anymore. They saved the world, oh can't you see? The best of us in history. They brought us hope, they set us free. These five great souls are legacy. Rich rubber crops that grow legacy forevermore. Join us out, the polio fight. Your vaccine brought the world. Vaccine brought from stop the polio fight. Your vaccine brought the world new life. Children walk, thanks to you. Your impact shines through and through. Florence Nightingale, a guiding light, healing hands through the night. Modern nursing you designed. Millions live because you're kind. They saved the world, oh can't you see? The best of us in history.
Hey everyone! Welcome back to Cap Tech. I'm Janie. Today's video is a little darker, but it's an important one. The top 10 worst people of all time. These are the individuals responsible for the greatest loss of life in human history. We're ranking them by the percentage of the world's population they caused to perish. It's a sobering reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and ideology. Let's get started. Starting off at number 10 is Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea. Under his regime, the country suffered mass starvation, oppression, and political purges. The total number of deaths attributed to his rule is estimated to be between 1.6 and 3.5 million, impacting roughly 0.07% of the world's population. The totalitarian state he created still endures, with ongoing human rights abuses today. At number 9 is General Ion Antonescu, the wartime dictator of Romania. During World War II, he was responsible for mass killings and deportations of Jewish and Romani populations. The death toll under his regime is estimated to be 300,000 to 400,000, affecting around 0.07% of the global population at the time. Antonescu's brutal policies resulted in horrific suffering in Eastern Europe. Coming in at number 8 is Mehmet Talat Pasha, one of the leaders of the Ottoman Empire during World War I. Talat Pasha was the architect of the Armenian Genocide, which led to the deaths of 1 to 1.5 million Armenians, Greeks, and Assyrians. This amounted to about 0.1% of the world's population at the time. The genocide decimated entire communities and remains a point of historical pain and controversy. Number 7 on our list is Hideki Tojo, the Prime Minister of Japan during much of World War II. Tojo was responsible for war crimes across Asia, particularly in China, where atrocities like the rape of Nanking took place. His policies led to the deaths of millions, with estimates ranging from 3 to 5 million lives lost. This represented about 0.15% of the global population. Tojo was later tried and executed for war crimes. At number 6, we have Leopold II of Belgium, responsible for some of the most brutal colonial atrocities in history. As ruler of the Congo Free State in the late 1800s and early 1900s, his exploitation of the region's resources led to the deaths of an estimated 10 million Congolese people. This impacted about 1.5% of the global population at the time. His reign of terror is often considered one of the greatest crimes of the colonial era. Number 5 is Adolf Hitler. You may be surprised to see him here and not at number 1, but his ranking is based on the percentage of the world population killed. Hitler's genocidal policies during World War II, including the Holocaust, led to the deaths of about 17 million people, which represented about 0.7% of the world's population. The horrors of the Nazi regime and World War II are some of the darkest chapters in human history. At number 4 is Joseph Stalin, the dictator of the Soviet Union. Stalin's purges, forced labor camps, and policies like the Holodomor in Ukraine led to the deaths of an estimated 20 to 30 million people, which impacted roughly 1.4% of the global population at the time. His totalitarian rule spread fear and suffering across the Soviet Union, with massive human costs. Number 3 on our list is Mao Zedong, the founder of the People's Republic of China. Mao's policies, particularly the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, caused widespread famine, political purges, and suffering. It's estimated that 45 to 70 million people died as a result of his actions, impacting 2 to 3% of the world's population at the time. Mao's legacy remains deeply controversial in China and beyond. Coming in at number 2 is Genghis Khan. The founder of the Mongol Empire, Genghis Khan, is responsible for some of the largest-scale massacres in human history. His conquests across Asia and Europe in the 13th century led to the deaths of an estimated 40 million people, or 10% of the world's population at the time. Khan's empire was the largest contiguous empire in history, built on blood and terror. And finally, at number 1, we have Tamerlane, also known as Timur, considered one of the most brutal conquerors of all time. It's estimated that his campaigns across Asia and the Middle East resulted in the deaths of 17 million people, which at the time was about 5% of the world's population. His method of warfare was particularly savage, leaving cities in ruins and populations decimated. So that's our countdown of the top 10 worst people of all time. These individuals were responsible for unimaginable loss of life and suffering, showing the dark side of unchecked power and ideology. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our song about the worst people in the world. And don't forget to check out our fiction novels.
Wine, 5% of life you denied. Cities burn, lives erased, a legacy of fear you place. They move with hate, the worst we've seen. The darkest pages ever been. These 5 left dead where they were wrong. They never should have had a throne. Genghis Khan, you swept the lands. 10% lost to your hands. A brutal force. Empire. So many perish. We ask why. Children starve, families derail, 2% gone in famine sway. Under your rule, they passed away.